In this video we're going to learn how to use Excel to estimate the mean for group data in different ways. We've learned in a previous video that the mean is the sum of the f times x divided by the sum of the f. So we've calculated already the f times x values, and I calculated the sum of the f times x. The f is the frequencies and x is the midpoint. So we can calculate the mean by dividing the sum of the fx divided by the sum of the f, which is f10 divided by b10. That will give us £11,000. We can calculate the mean using the sum product formula, which is the sum product. Let's start with equals sum product, comma, and because the f times x is the multiplication of the frequencies and the midpoint, we could say the sum product of, this is a formula that multiplies two array variables, comma, the midpoint. So the sum product will be the multiplication of the f times x, and find the sum. That sum will be divided by the sum of the frequencies. So the sum product of the frequencies and the midpoint divided by the sum of the frequencies. If we press enter, we find £11,003. Okay, there is another way of doing it, which is to use the sum product formula, equal sum product. But this time we know that the midpoints are obtained by adding the minimum values and the maximum values divided by 2. So it will be the sum product of the frequencies, comma, between bracket, the minimum values plus the maximum values, close the bracket, divided by 2. That will give us the midpoint. So this bit here will be the midpoint. Close the bracket, that will calculate the sum product, divided by the sum of the frequencies. If I press enter, I should find the same value. Now the advantage of these three is such that we can minimize our use of space. So for example, if we don't need to calculate the f times x, that means not create this column. If I get rid of it, obviously the first formula doesn't work. If I don't need to calculate the midpoint, the second formula doesn't work. So the third formula doesn't really need the midpoint column and the f times x column. So if I set up the minimum values and the maximum values, I can still calculate or estimate the mean without the need of the last two columns. So I'll have a lighter use of space, calculate the mean for group data correctly. So that will end our video on how to estimate the mean for group data in different ways.